think I didn't do anything wrong, just stayed too long at a party and crashed on the couch beside my ex. We shared a blanket, nothing more. But my husband called it cheating, packed the kids' bags that night, and left me staring at the door as it closed. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. Nathan always said I needed to grow up, that family life wasn't meant to be a party. But I told myself he was just bitter, weighed down by grease from the garage and bills on the counter. I wanted lightness, laughter, something more than bedtime stories, and the same sofa every night. That was why Julian's name on my phone lit me up like a spark. We hadn't spoken in years, but when he messaged through a mutual friend's group chat, it felt harmless to reply. Nathan noticed once, asked why I was smiling at the screen. I told him it was just a joke about office gossip, and he believed me. He always believed me. I started calling that trust, but really, it was my cover. My mother told me it was natural to want excitement, that men like Nathan got dull once kids arrived. She said I shouldn't feel guilty for wanting attention. Daniel, Nathan's brother, made some sharp comment about me looking for trouble. I laughed in his face, saying he was jealous no one paid him attention. When Julian invited me to a friend's party, I pretended to hesitate. But inside, I was already picturing the music, the wine, the easy way he made me feel young again. Nathan asked if I'd be home for dinner that night. I smiled sweetly and said it was a work thing, that I'd grab something out. He nodded, even offered to watch the kids, like he always did. As I left, I felt alive. I told myself it was just one night, just drinks with old friends, nothing Nathan needed to know. I didn't realize that decision, so small in my mind, would be the crack that split everything open. The party was louder than I expected, music thumping, bottles everywhere, people sprawled on couches. Julian spotted me the second I walked in. He wrapped me in a hug that lasted a little too long, but I didn't pull away. I told myself it was just the wine making me lightheaded, just nostalgia making me smile. We joked about the old days, about how nothing ever changes, and each refill of my glass blurred the edge of guilt. By midnight, the house had quieted, half the guests gone. I was curled on the couch, laughing at one of Julian's stories. Someone tossed a blanket across us, saying we'd freeze near the open window. I pulled it over my legs and let it cover his too. It was nothing, just warmth, I thought. I even snapped a selfie, cropped to show only the blanket and my flushed cheeks, and posted it with a caption about wild nights. Clever, I thought. My phone buzzed, Nathan asking if I was on my way home. I typed back that I'd had too much to drink, so I was staying over at a friend's to be safe. He replied with one word, fine. I convinced myself his flat tone was proof he overreacted, not that I had crossed a line. When morning light hit, I woke still under the blanket, Julian snoring beside me. I slipped out quietly, head pounding but heart racing with the thrill. I thought it would remain my secret, but as I left, one friend smirked and said I looked cozy. By the time I got home, a photo was already circulating in the group chat, me asleep, sharing a blanket with Julian. I told myself it was harmless, but deep down, I knew Nathan would never see it that way. When I walked through the front door, Nathan was sitting at the table with Ella and James. He looked up once, then back at their cereal bowls. I kissed the kids' heads, saying I'd stayed over because it wasn't safe to drive. Nathan didn't answer. His silence felt heavier than shouting. Later that week, he asked me directly if Julian had been at the party. I laughed, saying of course, it was a group of old friends. He pressed, asking if I had shared a blanket. My chest tightened, but I forced a smirk and said he was acting like a jealous teenager. I told him it was harmless, that nothing happened. He just nodded, lips tight, and left the room. I hated that calm, so at a dinner with friends, I tried to make him the punchline. I raised my glass and told everyone Nathan thought a blanket was cheating. Laughter erupted, though some smiles were strained. I said he was so uptight, he'd probably accuse me of betrayal if I hugged someone too long. My mother laughed loudest, saying men always overreact. Nathan stayed silent, cutting his food slowly. Robert slammed his fork down and said I was humiliating my husband in public. I snapped that he should stay out of our marriage. The table fell quiet. Nathan asked for the check, and that was it. At home, I tried to smooth things over, wrapping my arms around him. He pulled away gently, saying he was sleeping in the spare room. That night, I heard drawers opening. By morning, the children's bags were gone, their shoes missing from the hallway. A note on the counter said he had taken them overnight. My hands shook as I read it, realizing my joke had cost me more than I ever imagined. At his parents' house the next Sunday, I tried to twist the story in my favor. I told everyone Nathan had overreacted, that I'd only shared a blanket while drunk and tired, and he'd turned it into betrayal. My mother nodded quickly, saying men always made mountains out of nothing. I let her words bolster me, claiming Nathan had abandoned me and the kids over a misunderstanding. But Daniel cut me off sharply. He said Nathan had done the right thing. That respect mattered more than excuses. He told me everyone at the party had seen enough to know it wasn't nothing. My cheeks burned, but I snapped back that he was just defending his brother. Nathan stayed calm, letting the room argue around him. Ella sat close to him, refusing to look at me, while James clung to his uncle's leg. I tried to smile through it, but their silence cut deeper than any accusation. And when Nathan left the house early without a word, I caught sight of a legal envelope sticking from his jacket pocket. That night, he called me into the kitchen. The folder was already on the table, papers lined neatly inside. He didn't shout, didn't accuse. He simply slid a photo across to me, the one from the party group chat. There I was, asleep, blanket pulled over me, and Julian's arm resting too close. My stomach dropped. I rushed into excuses, saying everyone drank too much, that it was innocent, that nothing happened. I even cried, asking how he could tear our family apart over a picture. He listened, calm as ever, then pulled out phone records, showing my late-night messages and the time I told him I'd stay safe. My hand shook. My mother called him cruel when she found out, saying he was building a case instead of forgiving. But Daniel told him he was smart for protecting himself. Nathan said it wasn't revenge, it was about stability for Ella and James. Then he placed the final set of documents in front of me. Divorce and custody filings, sealed by the court. I had no words left. We met at a cafe 2 days later. I came early, rehearsing lines about forgiveness, telling myself if I smiled enough he would soften. Nathan arrived on time, carrying only an envelope. He didn't order coffee, didn't sit long. He slid the envelope across the table. Inside were finalized papers, divorce terms, custody schedule, financial agreements, all signed. On top was the photo from the party, the blanket proof of what I'd called harmless. I begged, saying it was a mistake, that I'd been drunk, that I never meant to hurt him. He shook his head and said the children needed certainty, not excuses. His voice was steady, almost kind, but it cut deeper than rage ever could. My mother tried to argue later, but even she fell silent when she saw the court seal. Daniel told Nathan he'd done the right thing, and when Nathan stood from that cafe table, Ella and James slipped their hands into his, leaving me behind with nothing but papers and a photo I could never explain away. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next story. Write in the comments from which city you are watching.